Do not attempt to adjust your programming. You are now listening to B-Movies and Beyond.
Pew! Pew pew! Pew pew!
Pew.
Dun dun. Oh wait, I'll let it do that.
Oh yeah. Miss the music. Welcome in to B-Movies and Beyond, episode 349. We're just on a 2-week schedule lately.
Yeah. Yes, we are.
It's been rough. It's been busy.
It's been a busy ass summer. Been a rough summer. It's been a summer. We'll get through it. It'll be fine.
Oh yeah, it will be fun. This is the summer schedule, right?
luckily, movies are on a summer schedule, so it's like you can actually do this in like 2 weeks, which is strange because you feel like a ton of news would be coming out now, but when you're looking for it, you're like, I don't know. I mean, the only thing that people are talking about is Hawk Tuohy right now, and I don't know how to make that translate to a movie.
I really don't even understand why that is so special, but yeah. Okay.
Can I tell you why it is?
Sure.
Because the attention span of people is very short. So that came in like 2-3 days, and it's already on its way out. But that girl has made millions of dollars just by saying Hawk Tuohy, which was we got to do that. We got to make millions of dollars by talking about spitting on it and rubbing it out. No,
that's talking about.
That's what she's talking about. Yeah, you just gotta Hawk Tuohy and spit on that thing. She's from
I
the
feel
south.
like we have talked about this before.
I think it's just
not from the south.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we're not from the south, and we're guys.
Yeah,
and that doesn't go viral.
How many candies do you think is too many candies?
I don't know. I read something that DK Metcalf eats 1 meal a day, has a cup of coffee, and eats 4 bags of candy every day.
So, all right,
he's an athlete.
And he's well balanced. But I'm having some Jolly Rancher gummies, sour. I got this for Father's Day, and I don't like how they do the serving sizes, and like say, oh hey, it's only 110 calories. I'm like, oh sweet, I can have a lot. And they're like, oh, but that's only like 9 pieces, and there's 6 of those in the bag. So if I finish this bag, it's more like almost 660.
Well, it's really easy to finish a bag as well.
Yeah, but I'm pretty sure if I finish it, I probably won't be feeling that good. But they're really tasty.
Sure, I think you can feel pretty. I mean, like you have an iron stomach for candy, dude.
Not really.
No.
So my issue is that I eat them too fast, and it's like when you drink too fast, right? It hits you fast, right? It just hits you hard and fast, and that's what happens to the candy. Like it's so good going down, and I love it, and then all of a sudden it just hits me, and like, oh, well, that was too much, too fast. So,
is that going to be a sequel to in the Fast and Furious universe?
I think so.
Too much, too fast.
Yes. I'm sure that's what they while they're driving their fast cars. Yeah.
Could you imagine them just being candy fiends, like Vin Diesel's just reaching for this bag of Reese's Pieces while he's shifting gears?
I'm surprised he doesn't. I mean,
I need more boost. Blah, 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 blah.
Exactly. It calms you, right? This is like stress eating, man.
Dude,
all the candy.
Talk about noticing the differences of like people who need sugar or people who need savory or people who need like, I don't know, ADHD stuff. Like the dynamic is so different. Like for someone who really, I'm using this as an example. Like I diagnosed ADHD. Sorry, I'm talking like Biden right now. ADHD. But like when I take Adderall, like I'm chill. Like I don't feel like a zombie or anything. Like I can like stay on task. I can, I'm not all over the place, but like there's other people who if they take it, they're like freaking nightmare, dude. They're running around, bouncing off the walls, they're like can't stop. I'm like, bro, it's doing the opposite effect for you. And like candy to me, dude, like it doesn't like amp me up. Kind of slows me down. But
I wouldn't. Yeah, I don't think it really amps me up. It's just tasty.
Maybe it's that because we're adults now. Like when we were kids, and speaking of kids, you give kids candy, and you can literally watch their gears go into overdrive. They're just like they're like
Oh, yeah.
grinding, and you're like, okay, chill. Okay,
They get a
okay.
sugar high for sure. They're bouncing off the walls, and I love though because eventually they crash. I feel like
And that's
when I have a lot of candy, I just go straight to like, oh, I don't feel so good, and I crash. There's no
so
hyper point.
you have you don't get the hyper, you get the don't feel good.
Uh-huh. Yeah. So I
Mhm.
think it's because I don't take it slow. It's all just how many can I fit in my mouth at once?
Say candy, please, because that could be taken out of another context.
It's candy.
It's candy. How many can I fit in my mouth? See, that
Yeah, quick
could be
question.
viral.
That could be. Dude, we said so many things. I don't understand why he's not going viral. Was she
I
like
think
on
it
the
was
news or something? Is
no,
that
it was
what?
like a dumb interview on X, Twitter, and then it just went. I think it was X. I don't know,
Was the guy
but
famous that was doing the interview? I mean, I
no, just
don't get
people
it.
interviewing down the street. Like I think we just got to start doing that at all the Alamos. Like just
Just
interviewing
start
people to go
interviewing
watch movies.
people, and hopefully someone talks about hooey or whatever. Hooey.
Girls say some like weird viral thing. I think the key for social media is you need to have, and I'm gonna say this, and I'm probably gonna get canceled. You need to have an attractive girl say something provocative. That's how it gets viral. Because then you get one side, you get the guys who are like, "Oh, yeah, that's awesome," and then you get the girls who are like, "I don't know why she's subjecting herself to that. She shouldn't be saying that." And then you get both of them, and so it's like you don't lose.
True.
It's like
I
the
think you have a point
WNBA.
there. That's I hear they're actually popular now, huh?
I think they're just gonna be viral.
Oh,
This
they're
year,
just
it's gonna. The WNBA is viral. And Peter, they're starting like the new thing. It's not a 15 minutes of fame anymore. It is a 5 minutes of fame. That is how short our attention spans are. It's insane.
Yeah. I believe it, dude. I have been struggling to get through content lately. It's been
Yeah.
rough. It's been rough. But I don't know if that's because of I don't think it's because of me. It's just life. It's just life.
I think it's an
Which
overload. I think like the content right now is a candy. You're absorbing way too much with it. Your stomach's getting upset, and then you just want to go to bed.
yeah, exactly. So I can't finish movies. I'm just like, I'm just gonna go to bed. That does happen quite a bit. I'll put something on and I'm out. Just out. I don't know. Life, man, dude, summer. It's crazy. I've been looking forward to it. I'm like, oh man, I love this nicer weather. But now it's like too hot, right? We've been like just getting those 100-degree days and everything in Colorado, and it's just I don't even want to leave the house.
Right.
But also the sun is staying up to like 9 p.m. and it just throws everything out of whack where I'm like, wintertime, I'm in bed at 8 p.m. It's fantastic. And now,
I feel you, Peter. I feel you
yeah,
100%.
the sun goes down. I'm like, oh shit, what do I need to do? Oh, I guess I should go to bed. And then I'm tired the next day and do it all over again. And some new bullshit will happen. I don't know, man.
Hey, Peter, guess what?
What?
I bit the bullet, man. I did it. I said I wasn't gonna do it. I was gonna wait, but I did it because I got
What?
impatient because the news came out. We're not even talking about movies, but Now
did you update your phone?
I did. Look at those icons. Those are black.
Oh man,
Woo!
I've
Look at
thought
that.
about it too, man. Oh man, Ryan's on that iOS 18 developer beta.
What's cool, Peter? The reason I did it is like iOS, the developer beta 18.2 now allows the the RCM texting. So people with Android phones, RCS, yeah, will get true text messages from iPhone users as well. So they won't compress those images. You could see when they're typing, when they're read. You could see all the features that you see in iMessage with iPhone users. It works now with Android.
Nice.
So I was like, oh, perfect.
So much better because you have been so pissed off at all the Android users for
My
so
entire
many
life.
years. Yeah, just
My
ruining your text messages.
dude, I like it's affected my friendship with certain people. Like I don't like Nate.
Oh, you mean Nikki's husband, Nate? That
Yeah,
one?
yeah, remember
Oh,
him? Yeah. I don't
yeah.
like him.
I
Like
know. Android
he
user.
makes up points because he plays Pokemon Go, but then he makes up 20 points, but then he like knocks it down 200 points by being an Android user.
Jeez.
It's just
But he does have a work iPhone. Does that get some more points there? He doesn't
if he
use it that
used
much.
it.
I know.
Yeah, he
Needs to
don't
get
use it.
on that. We don't
Yeah.
like our green bubbles on Apple.
And kudos to him and Nikki because mostly Nikki because she's the one who's like, by the way, here's this trivia. Here's your invite. You show up or you don't. And we're like, oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah, that's tonight. Did we get an invite this week?
We didn't get an invite this week, you know?
She must got tired of us and not showing up. Which
We
it's
should ask
just,
her.
dude, it's just too much, man. It's too much, and we need to move this along so that I can get a good night's sleep.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
What? How? Why? I have so many questions!
Yeah, I got a quick question.
Got a quick question.
I got one too. What's yours? Did you?
Well, I actually put it in the notes. Let's see.
Oh,
And I
man,
got this
you
from
made it
Reddit.
very big. Okay. What?
Muted.
Okay.
Which in movie universe do you think has been handled poorly or gone to waste?
Movie universe.
In movie universe.
That's a good one. Maybe.
Maybe.
Well, I'm trying to because I mean, like Marvel's been going, like I think, kind of downhill, and we'll see if they can source or correct. But they kind of like they reached like this peak, you know, that I just like, hey, kudos to them. Where even if they just stopped it there, like, and maybe that's what a lot of people are doing. Is like that's good enough. I'm pretty good with that, and I think that was like they handled it very well. This second. Or I mean, we're in phase
6.
Yeah, like that craziness. Like, you know, these are just kind of, you know, not very good phases. But I think that remains to be seen. I think they've had some slumps, and that's fine. But I'm not gonna say that's the one that I think has been handled poorly. You know what I think has been handled poorly? Gosh, oh man, I got a couple. But the first one that popped in my head was Star Trek when they tried to reboot it.
Okay.
Like, I really enjoyed that reboot. The second one did kind of lack. It was okay. And then I thought, like, Beyond Star Trek Beyond, like, kind of got fun again and it changed it a little bit. And then that's it. It's kind of fills it out again. And they kind of went back to, like, on Paramount Plus, like, all these, you know, kind of the more original, you know, our shows and stuff. But the actual movie universe, like they just they lost it. And I feel like that didn't have to be the case, you know?
Yeah.
And that's why I think they handled it poorly, and they let it go to waste. Because that first one was a lot of fun. They did a fantastic job with that, and how they just pulled off kind of like this reset with this whole time travel stuff with Star Trek. And so it's a shame that it didn't go really anywhere, even though I've heard rumblings about like a fourth one. And I don't know where they what's going on with that, but it seems like it's been a while.
Okay. I feel you on that one. Because yeah, you're right. Like the first one was like good, and then after that just failed to um but when they got back, well, it's not a verse. Because when they got back to doing Star Trek shows for the most part were a favorite. There were some that people were like, yeah, these kind of suck, but for the most part, they like them. Which I
Yeah,
think
but
that's fine for Star Trek. Star Trek just needs to be a TV show, in my opinion.
and maybe, but I mean, they've had a healthy track record of good movies. Like there's a whole bunch. That's why they try to reboot it again. Like uh you know, I think uh I mean that 2009, man, that was a lot of fun. It was just, I think the second one kind of stalled it out. And this kind of goes back to your whole, the 5 minutes, man. Like even back then, like I think, something like, oh, this one didn't top the first one. And so it just instantly like went downhill for it, the franchise.
Ooh, I'm looking at a list of universes, right?
Mm-hmm.
And my initial thought was going to be Star Wars. But for the most part, I've enjoyed Star Wars movies. It's a TV series in the universe that just kind of like took away from the lore of original Star Wars. But this one, and it was quick. The Matrix. First Matrix was good.
Yeah.
And then the second one, overhyped. It sucked. And then the third one really sucked. And then the reboot was like, oh my God, the Matrix is back. And then it was just like, okay, cool. The Matrix is back.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
When the fourth one I felt was like very unnecessary. I agree with that. Like I barely remember it now. But the trilogy, the original one, like I know a lot of people did not like them, like the second one and third. But this actually kind of goes into like my review and kind of why I rewatched uh I watched the Lady Ghostbusters again, just like let's just see. I had a weird itch that I wanted to watch it, so I did. I think, and when you take a step back though, like with the Matrix, like as a whole, I'm like, okay, they were trying to do a lot. And as an overall like story of it is like it's a pretty cool story. It just it just was kind of like it wasn't executed very well. And I think it was also ahead of its time because the stuff they were trying to do, like in Reloaded and really in Reloaded with all the Agent Smiths, it looked terrible. And like the fight scenes and the CGI, like the Neo, like it was a little bit rough. Like it was really bad. Like, but I think like this day and age, like I think if they did that, it probably actually would have been cool. Another part too is that I also just wanted to see like Neo just turn into like this basically like a Super Saiyan man. that's what I wanted to see. It's just him just charging up and being the super badass, and I felt that never really happened with
That
him.
never happened. Yeah. And I'm with you on that one. I would have loved to see like shit hit the fan and it just didn't do it. And I pulled this question from Reddit today, but I saw a video of like Marvel Universe then and now, and like they started with now, and it was mostly very like, oh, they've turned everything into women and feminism and it but back then it was just like comic book. Like there was no other agenda besides like building the Avengers and building this big epic Infinity War. And like right now, Marvel just seems lost in like trying to be current and have these women led movies and whatnot. It's like fine, but like build a little bit of diversity, diversity by lack of diversity. Anyway, I don't know. It was just a very interesting thought of how people are viewing what was what really Peter like the MCU defined universes like for
Yeah.
movies.
I mean,
I'm not
kind
saying
of
it's the
like they're
first one. It's the one where like people are like, oh, I see this interconnection between all these movies, and then all these other franchises are like, yeah, we've been doing this for a long time. Let's continue doing it. You know?
yeah. I mean, if you're talking like that, there really has not been anything on that scale like ever before. Like Marvel's is really the first one to do it. That's why you can't. That's why I'm only comparing. Like it's kind of almost just like comparing franchises that have like a unique universe to it. So, and there's been a lot of franchises that they have or slash universes that they dropped the ball with, which I mean, probably one of the biggest arguments is just the Snyderverse. I think that's a huge one that all that was kind of dropped. Like,
So is it technically called? Are you talking the DC
the
extended universe?
the DCEU basically.
Okay.
Yeah, pretty much when that started, and they wanted to have like basically create their Marvel universe, the MCU, and but it was all under Zack Snyder, and then he kind of stepped away, and things just got murky, and then in comes James Gunn and Peter Safran or whatever his name is, which even the stuff that was released with them slightly in control, it's still part of that other universe, which I have no idea why they even did that. Like this is right now we're starting to see like their reboot. Like I'm gonna be really shocked if any of that previous stuff is somehow connected to this. So like I think you just gotta kind of brush it off and be done with that and move on and start your new DC universe.
Do you have hopes that like the James Gunn DC universe like just triumphs over Marvel? Do you want that undergod demigod story going on with them? I just don't see it, but I mean, I kind of want to see like James Gunn just basically pull out like his finger and be like, "Oh, hey, Marvel." You know?
Yeah. I don't know. This is gonna be interesting, man. Like I just think he has some tough characters to like create and make him new. I think Superman's a tough one.
Yes.
And I didn't even like the Man of Steel. Like I didn't like those. Like I did not like this new Superman, and
I don't even
and
like
even
Superman movies, dude.
and that's kind of what I'm at. Like even like Christopher Reeve, like there's a piece. Like I think I have to like be like, okay, I get it. Like I understand why this is popular and like how this was so cutting edge at the time, but it's not anymore. There's a new way to tell stories, and when they did Superman Returns and paid homage to the original Superman, like it just doesn't work anymore. Like that type of storytelling, it was too slow and it just doesn't work. And so then like you go to the Man of Steel, we're like, okay, we gotta take this modern age, which I still didn't think it was correct. Like they still screwed up just Superman, and I really didn't think it was like that exciting. So it's gonna be interesting to see James Gunn's take on this because he's much more of a storyteller, he's big into that. But I'll be honest, I love Guardians of the Galaxy, all those, but the Suicide Squad, it's just it's okay for me. Like I've seen it once and I never watched it again. I was expecting so much more, and I thought that was wasn't that great. But Peacemaker though,
Yeah, I was gonna say, like,
Podcast?
I'm with you with that statement because Guardians is a movie 1, 2, and 3 you can watch over and over and over, but the Suicide Squad, like, I don't find myself putting that on. But right there, you said it, Peacemaker, that just like added validity to James Gunn taking and see that's what he's good at. He takes these weird oddball characters and makes them lovable. And then he has
Yeah.
he has a huge challenge with Superman and whoever Batman's gonna be. I feel like his greatest strength is gonna be Green Lantern out of the major superheroes. Like, because I feel like Hal Jordan is like a perfect blend. He could cast someone who could fill like a John Cena role, or like just character wise, or like Chris Pratt, like, and he could encompass that character with Green Lantern. And we haven't seen that with Green Lantern. Well, Ryan Reynolds tried, but I just haven't seen it. And Ryan Reynolds, that was a flop. Ryan Reynolds was not a that was not a good movie. Was it Ryan Reynolds' fault? I don't know. Maybe. Wait, isn't that where he met Blake Lively too?
Yeah, I think so.
Holy shit! I need to
Yeah.
watch Green Lantern.
Dude, I tried many years ago. I'm like, is it really that bad? And I think I fell asleep through it. So it kind of was that bad. Like, it's just, yeah, it's not that good. But yeah, we'll see what comes of that universe. I mean, he's making it. There's a lot of stuff. I don't know if you got this in the news, but I saw there was pictures of like the new Superman suit, and people are just kind of like, what? Like there's some things that I'm like, we'll see how this plays out. But seeing pictures right now, I'm a little concerned. But they're gonna have a Green Lantern in the new Superman movie. You know that?
No.
Yeah,
But
and it's gonna
less is more for me right now.
Okay, you don't want to know?
Well, you could tell me. I mean, because I'm eventually gonna know. But like,
Yeah, but it's Nathan Fillion. Nathan Fillion is gonna be the new Green Lantern, and he's like, he plays the guy. His name is Guy something. He's another Green Lantern. He's not gonna be Hal Jordan. So like, there's so many different versions of Green Lantern. So like, he's gonna be that one. He's kind of like an older Green Lantern, and I mean, it's about time. Like, I always thought that Nathan Fillion would have been the perfect Green Lantern even back in the day. And also, he did the voice of Green Lantern in some of the animated movies. So he kind of knows.
Nathan Fillion's the perfect Green Lantern.
So
interesting.
We'll see how it plays out. But all right, a lot of failed universes.
Let's talk about some. Oh, dude, this one's gonna be quick. Let's do it.
Here are some exciting coming attractions from
B-movies and beyond.
Yeah, I saw some more. Like, there's actually 2 new trailers for like that Marky Mark's in, but I skipped over them. But Heretic, Red 1, and Smile 2. Those are the ones we got for today.
Rank them real quick.
Rank them real quick on how I want to see them.
Rank them which one,
or
based off your interest.
Oh,
watching the trailers, your interest, yes.
Honestly, probably I would do Heretic first, Smile 2, and then Red 1. I think they all look actually really good. That's why I picked these 3. Heretic's the one that it caught me off guard because I had no idea about this, and it's about Mormons, which that was the part that I was like, what? It's a horror movie. And there's also like an escape room aspect to it, which I love escape rooms. So this is the one where I was just kind of like totally caught off guard and blown away by. So I think that's why it has my highest level of interest right now is Heretic. And also like having a Hugh Grant as kind of the bad guy. That's kind of, haven't really seen that before, so I'm kind of excited about that.
So wait, based off the trailer, it seems like he entraps these 2 Mormon are they prospects? I don't know what their terminology is.
Prospects, missionaries.
Missionaries. Prospects are a part of a gang. I guess. Could you be a Mormon gang?
I mean, people call them cults and stuff. I mean,
Oh,
is it
cult.
cult? Is a cult a gang? I kind of think so.
I kind of think so. Ooh, that's an interesting topic. What draws the definition between cult, gang, and religion? Huh. Anyway,
Well, I mean, okay, we don't need to get into it, but yeah, I think there's a lot of similarities.
that's another podcast.
Yeah. But what did you think of it?
I like it. I like what Hugh Grant's doing lately, dude.
Yeah.
I like him in he was the Oompa Loompa and Willy Wonka. I thought he was good there. I liked him
Did
in
you see that? You saw Wonka?
Yeah, it was good. It was all right. You watch it with
Okay.
kids, it's fine.
Alright.
He was awesome in Dungeons and Dragons as a bad guy.
Oh, he was a bad guy there, but kind of like
Goofy bad guy.
Yeah, this one's like a sinister, like creepy bad guy, which I don't think I've seen that really in Heretic. So,
well, it's an A24 movie, and
yeah.
This topic came up today about A24. Like, has A24 as a studio lost their luster of like the type of movies that they've been able to produce? Because it seems like they're getting more mainstream.
I mean, it's bound to happen. I mean, they're taking maybe some people find as gambles and then they turn out to be like huge success. So it's just bound to happen. I mean, I don't, this Heretic, this is kind of a strange, premise, I would say almost that I'm not surprised that they're producing. So,
yeah. Well, now that you mentioned it's about Mormons, I didn't catch it, and I'm interested because I have questions.
Yeah, and the idea that they're gonna have to and that's the other part too. So, also why I'm a little bit more curious. So, like, they show up at this guy's doorstep. They're women missionaries, and I loved how one of the things, and I think this might actually be accurate, is that Hugh Grant's like, "Oh, why don't you come in?" And she's like, "Is there any women in the house? Because we are not allowed to come in if there's no women." And I think that's actually true. And then he makes up some lie, like, "Oh yeah, my wife's in there, so come on in." So okay. And then things go sour. But one of the things is he is kind of putting them against their or faith, basically, because one of the things is do you choose this door if you believe, or choose this one if you're gonna go against the word of God or whatever, some bullshit like that. And I think there's probably going to be a lot more of those topics and issues discussed throughout this movie in their escape room part of it. So I don't know. I like the idea, and I'm pretty excited to see it. So I think that comes out in September.
Can I watch this with you?
So that's not right, or that's right.
Wherever Daniel Tosh, wow, that's a name I haven't heard in a long time, but he made a Mormon joke and just you quietly, that's not true. And I was like, oh.
Oh, it's in November. We got some time to wait.
All right, cool.
Sure, I'd watch it with you. I think
Peter, have you seen Smile?
Yeah.
Smile's good, right? I haven't finished Smile, but the general consensus of it is that it's like a creepy horror movie.
Yeah, I really enjoyed Smile, and that's why Smile 2 is my second trailer that I'm pretty excited about, and that fact that's coming out in October. Because remember, we were talking about some news a little while ago about Smile 2, and then boom, we have a trailer for it. So that's why that one's exciting, and I love the idea that it's gonna be centered around like a pop star. That's new, and I like that because you can just take this whole premise with Smile. You can just take and put anyone into this issue, which is pretty interesting, and I love the first one. Yeah, you need to watch the first one. You need to finish it, I should say. I need to watch it again. I think Smile, Talk to Me,
Talk to Me is good.
oh, so good. Like these are some of the ones that I was just like surprise hits to me, That was like, wow. Wasn't Talk to Me, that was A24, right?
Mm-hmm. It's the
Yeah.
Australian one.
Yeah. So yeah, Smile too, man. It looks like it's taken, the concept of the first one and just, new people, new environments, and I think that's the exciting part about this franchise. We'll see if they can top some of the scares from the first one. So
And that leaves us with Red One. Is this a sequel? This is a sequel, isn't it?
no. What?
Oh, this is the one that. What was the one that was made last year that had The Rock, Chris Evans, and all these people in it?
Are you thinking about The Rock and Ryan Reynolds and Gal Gadot?
I'm sorry, these movies are so interchangeable.
What's
What's that one called? Red Dawn? Red Notice?
Red Notice. You're right. I did think that was strange, and I almost thought this was the sequel to Red Notice. Is that what you thought?
Yeah.
Yeah, until I started watching the trailers, like, oh, this is not related at all. But it's weird that he, The Rock does so many movies with red in the title. So I don't know. But
Well,
his production company, I mean, we were talking about, I think, last episode, but I've been noticing it's just that production thing is just popping up so many places, man. He's making that so prominent now with all these new movies that he's producing. But Red One, no idea what this was until I watched it, and it's interesting.
it's the typical Santa has been kidnapped and they need to save Christmas.
A typical version of that, yeah.
I mean, the only thing that makes it different is not JJ Abrams, J. Jonah Jameson. What's his name? J.K. Simmons.
J.K. Simmons, yeah.
He's a buff Santa.
Yep.
And I believe that. I believe him being a buff Santa.
Mhm.
And okay, what was kind of cool was the Mexican polar bear. What was his name?
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know what that was all about, but that was interesting. Here's the thing. I think with this whole concept, what I like about this is that they had something so silly and they're just like, we need to have a lot of fun with this and we need to just go to the extremes. And that's the thing that I noticed about the trailer with, like, then they bring in Chris Evans, who's like the best, tracker, basically. He finds
I don't
people
know.
really well.
I don't know what his involvement was. Like, maybe they'll tell us I'm sure they'll tell us in the movie. But yeah,
I'm pretty
he's
sure
like,
that's what it was. Like, basically, he's just really good at finding people. So, like, you need to come help us find Santa Claus. But there's like this whole like other like realm that he's not even aware of. Like, where there's like real snowmen that attack you. There's polar bears that speak Spanish. Like, there's this. I like that they're going so crazy with the concept, and I think that's what you have to do with a movie like this, with a premise of, hey, someone kidnapped Santa Claus and we need to find him. Like, that's what you have to do. And then you put The Rock in there, like, I'm in. I don't know if I'm gonna call this like a holiday classic. I don't think this is gonna happen with this movie. It's not gonna be like an Elf, but I think it's gonna be a nice change of pace for like a holiday movie. So, yeah.
Well, I was just reading on this that filming began in 2022. See, we've seen like them making this, and this was the movie where they accused Dwayne the Rock Johnson of being a diva on set. Had to be filmed around him, who was on an average of 8 hours late to filming and missed several days of shooting. So this is a movie he probably just didn't care about. So I don't know if I care, but $250 million budget for this. Do you think it's gonna make it back?
Dude, it's a holiday movie, and if it's
So-
really a kids movie, absolutely.
That's true. You're right.
Yeah, I mean, it's just instant. It's a given with kids movies. So
Freaking kids, dude. They
yeah,
just yep.
you know what kids like?
News.
Yeah.
News.
Yeah. What have we got, Ryan? You're the
Speaking
news
of,
guys. You're the the anchor man. for
I'm
B
Ron
Movies and
Burgundy.
Beyond. That's right. You are wrong, Ron Burgundy.
So talking about people who don't care about a movie, Blade. They've lost their director. They've lost their actors. They've lost all kinds of stuff. Like, is this movie coming out? They said it's coming out next year, but and then here's a couple that why I wanted to bring this up, because fucking Wesley Snipes is talking shit about this movie, and then it comes out that Wesley Snipes is probably and has a major role in Deadpool and Wolverine.
That's awesome if he does. Oh, that'd be so cool.
Yeah, like because they're showing like a scene where you see, I think there was a miniseries Blade, like the actor looks like he's in the background. There's Juggernaut, but just news like this week was like, not only does Wesley Snipes have, and this is from like pre-screenings, not only does he have like a cameo, but he has like a role in the new Deadpool and Wolverine movie. So
Well, I mean, sure, you can be in that and still hate that they're making a new Blade movie without you.
well, I thought there was rumors that Ryan Reynolds didn't like Wesley Snipes because of Blade Trinity, but mostly it was Patton Oswalt who kept on talking about it. Ryan Reynolds didn't really say anything about it, which was basically his first outing as a Deadpool type of character in comic book movies.
It's very true. Which talk about a diva, man. Like I Wesley Snipes was being a diva in that movie, and
Mhm.
I don't know. You're just there. I'm sure Ryan Reynolds and everyone else, right? They're just there to do a job. Um, you know, okay, the star's having a rough time. He had some issues, but this is why it's so good and why you don't talk shit about others, because maybe one day you want him to be in your multiverse movie to reprise his role that he was a diva on. So good on him for not talking shit about Wesley Snipes. But I think Wesley Snipes is the one that had issues with everyone.
He did, yeah. Why Wesley Snipes didn't like working with Ryan Reynolds in Blade 3. He just didn't like working with anybody. It was just him. Like he didn't like the script. He didn't like anything going on with this movie, and he was like, I'm not gonna participate.
Yeah,
And
I think
that was
he was probably
Hmm?
contractually obligated to do it, right?
I
That's my
think
guess.
so, yeah.
Yeah.
It was the first moneymaker for them, dude.
Oh, for Marvel?
Yeah. Like, well, not Blade 3 itself, but the Blade movies.
Dude, I love Blade Trinity. I really love that whole trilogy now. I kind of want to watch it, but so maybe we'll get a new
2004.
Blade at some point.
Well, I want to see. I'm intrigued by this Wesley Snipes news because I want to see him and Deadpool and squash those rumors, or have Ryan Reynolds be like, kill him in that movie.
Yeah.
Peter, the box office is back, dude. Sony bought Alamo, resurrected the ones that went bankrupt, so those are back on track, and it just justified everything with Inside Out 2. That movie was sold out that week. It was impossible to get seats. Saw a late night 9 o'clock showing, but it felt like the first of the Hollywood blockbuster summer movies. It was good.
That's
And
crazy that this Pixar movie, I mean, I know the first one's really good, but to sell out like your 9 p.m. showings of this, like that's pretty impressive.
and there were kids there, dude. 9
really?
p.m. Yeah.
All right.
Um
Good on
broke a
them.
record. It was Let's see. Dethroning Dune Part 2 to take the crown in a mere 9 days, accomplishing something that no movie has accomplished since 2019. Becoming the biggest movie in. Okay, anyway, basically, it was the fastest to its like record-breaking opening. So
Yeah. Well,
Um,
good on them.
good on them. Well, dude, we got a string of them. It's Inside Out 2, and I think I'm gonna review that one.
Okay.
And what's next, dude? And it's this week.
Me 4.
Despicable Me 4. I think that's how you got to start the summer movies. K- Like, get the animated movies out the fucking way, and because kids are getting out of school, they need something to do. Like, parents are running around scrambling to find something to do for them, and they just like take them to movies, and then towards the middle of the summer, they're like, "All right, it's our turn. We need to go see the movies." And that way, we're not like inundated with these random like Crudes 4 movies. We have straight up the movies we want to watch.
Sure. I mean, why can't they just be peppered throughout? I don't know.
No, I want them like because well, shit, you're right, because if they pepper them out, then it keeps it consistent throughout the summer.
Exactly. I mean, if you just put
Hmm.
all the animated shit in up front, then I mean,
There's
it's
no
probably
money to see the other ones.
wise.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Or you gotta have content for everybody, not just the kids. So
What else do I got for news? It's been kind of slow for news.
yeah,
Yeah.
trying to talk
This
about
one's
popcorn buckets.
Yeah. Did you see this one?
No.
They interviewed the director of Dune, and they're like, "Hey, Ryan Reynolds claimed war with the popcorn bucket," and he's like, they're just jealous of how awesome our Dune popcorn bucket was."
Yeah.
Have you collected any of these popcorn buckets?
No. Not one. I kind of
Not even
wish I did.
Yeah.
No, remember I never got my ghost trap, so that sucks. I just I'm not into it that much. If I can't easily get my hands on it, I'm not gonna get it.
And as of this recording, June 27th, I just did a search on eBay for Dune popcorn bucket, and they're going for $90.
Yeah, no, thank you. I don't. It's fun and all, and that's cool that they're doing this and they're creating this kind of like popularity with it, and I'm glad they'll keep the trend going with like Deadpool, Wolverine, and but yeah, I'm not gonna go out on eBay and get me one of those. All right.
What about a Ghostbusters one for about $40 to $80?
Like 40 would be my max.
40 is your max? Someone has a photo of one for $10. It's blurry, and their foot is in the photo.
Yeah, it's probably the photo. eBay, man. I've heard so many stories where you gotta pay attention to what you're buying. So
Yeah, you do. I sold something on eBay, and I accidentally put new in the title, but everything else listed as used, and they caught me on that technicality, and I had to eat it. I was pissed.
you had
Ugh.
to eat it. What do you mean you had to eat it?
I had to refund them some money because otherwise, if they would have went to eBay, they would have got all their money back and kept my shit.
Oh, so if they report you saying you're false claims, I gotcha. Bummer.
They knew what they were doing.
Yeah.
What else we got for news? Popcorn buckets. Oh, my screen needs to go away. This one's kind of cool. This isn't movie related, but Marvel Comics is teaming up with Godzilla for a series of comics, and there's a straight up Venom cover of Godzilla infected by Venom, and Spider-Mans are fighting him.
That's awesome.
Yeah, check this out. How
I
would you
like that.
want a Venom Godzilla?
I would love it.
Yeah, look at that.
Yeah, that's pretty sweet. And like, oh, you got Spider-Man there and everything. Yeah, that's cool. I like
So-
this, man. When you could take, entities, characters like this, and throw it into another universe, it makes it a lot of fun. You know, they're having fun with it. I like it.
Dude, 21 different issues. There's gonna be Godzilla versus everybody in the Marvel universe.
Yeah, straight.
Hell yeah.
They'll do the what if. What if Godzilla destroyed the Marvel universe?
I think Godzilla could.
Sure.
Yeah. Marvel universe.
And what's this?
Skinner,
about
that's
Walmart?
Oh, do you see that? That's interesting. Walmart is selling a VHS. And it's Terrifier 2.
Wow.
You could buy a VHS in 2024 and it's Terrifier 2. Like, number one, I thought that Medium was dead. And Terrifier is like the one that you can buy at Walmart. That's
awesome.
just cool news to me. So
I think the other cool thing is I was looking through this article, is that Bloody Disgusting is curating the first horror fan shop at Walmart, where you can find all sorts of awesome collectibles and exclusives from, Trick or Treat. What else we got? All kinds of different things. It looks pretty sweet, man. I happened to be at a Walmart not too long ago, and I saw like just all kinds of collectibles, and they had like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I wish I had more money because I would have bought a lot of stuff. But it was just kind of fun to look at.
They have some really cool collectible stuff, and dude, the Ninja Turtle toys that they offer for kids nowadays are just so cool. Like they have farting Ninja Turtles.
Who wouldn't want that? So
I know. And like when you go down the aisle, they have like the original toys that they're doing in series. Like you could get Surfer Mike again. I never thought in a day I'd be able to get that. Yeah.
You know what I saw at the Walmart was I think they almost had all the like the Halloween Ninja Turtles, like the Wolfman, Raph, and the Mummy Mike. They had like most of those. I wanted them so badly, but I'm cheap. So,
and they have a 2-pack that's black and white, Walmart exclusive.
Yeah. It's crazy.
Nerdy shit. Anyway.
Yes. All right. Let's get in our feature presentation.
Woo.
Reviews.
We're doing sequels and reboots. Is yours a reboot?
Yeah, it's a reboot. Yeah, didn't work, but it is absolutely a reboot.
It was a reboot that had to be rebooted.
No, a reboot, which then they decide, oh, we don't want to go down that route, and let's go back to the original and make a sequel. / kind of reboot. So, yeah, that's Ghostbusters. Which do you call it? Like, I've seen this a lot where like it's Ghostbusters, like Answer the Call, right? Like that's what they call like the lady Ghostbusters. Like, have you seen that before?
You know what? To be honest with you, I was like, what Ghostbusters is this? And then when I copy paste and put it into Google, I was like, oh, it's a girls one. But nowhere on the and I'm a straight up liar. On the movie case, it says Answer the Call.
Yeah, because this is something that was like, I think it was added. Like, I don't think this was like ever, when they do the intro for this movie, it just says Ghostbusters, right? It does not say anything else. I feel like it's something like after the fact that they had to like put on like the DVD cases so that people knew, not just by going off the cover with like, oh, look at all these girls. They had to add this Answer the Call so people knew like this was not the original Ghostbusters. So it's kind of a weird deal. But since we're talking about it, I guess I'll talk about it more. But yeah, I watched this movie from 2016, which I believe we talked about this on the podcast, and I might be just saying all the same shit again. But
Was it after we watched Ghostbusters the Frozen one?
did I talk about it then?
I did. Maybe no, I watched all the Ghostbusters recently.
Yeah, but did you talk about this one, the Lady Ghostbusters?
Yes, I think.
Well, then I might be repeating you. I don't know, but whatever reason, I don't know why, but
Because you love Ghostbusters.
I do, and I had this itch to be like, I want to rewatch the Lady Ghostbusters, and it's on Roku, the Roku channel. Like, man, by the way, just like these free streaming services, like, yeah, you gotta watch some commercials and everything, but there's a ton of movies on those. Like, it's crazy. And I gotta maybe I should start off with this. It's like I also was going on Tubi. I think I saw it on Tubi as well. And I was just going through, and I actually started to try watching Total Body Count, or Total Total Body Count. No,
I think it's just called Body Count.
Body Count Killer. I don't, you know what I'm talking about. But I think we watched the trailer, and it was just about like a lot of kids and sex and killings, and it is exactly that. And I tried turning that on, and
No, it's called Killer Body Count. Yeah,
Killer Body Count. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
And I instantly it's you know, sex and then jerking off, and my kid was right there. I'm like, I think I'm gonna turn this off because I don't need her repeating anything that these kids are saying. So I switched to Lady Ghostbusters, and that one I did not have any kid issues with. So that's how I got started watching this, and I think I had a lot of the same takeaways, but at the same time, I was okay. There's like certain things that I really like about it, and I think that was the case before. But probably one of my biggest things is just there's too many silly jokes. Like I there's like this weird thing where like their writers or whoever was in charge of this, like every single joke they ever thought, whether it was good or not, like just got put in this movie, and it was nonstop. Where these other ones, right? They there's funny moments, but I didn't feel like anything was forced. In this movie, it's forced. The comedy is like forced upon you, and it's dumb comedy. Like, not all of it is dumb. Like, there's some good parts, and what it needs is just like they probably should have went through and like, hey, let's just tell a really good story, and then just have a few jokes like peppered throughout. We don't have to do like every other line is supposed to be a knee slapper, like it is just ridiculous. And that's the biggest thing I think I have to say about this movie, and this is why I don't think it did very well, is because of that.
Everything was very forced about this movie. The characters themselves were like, they were obvious, just female versions of the original Ghostbusters cast, and it was like they were trying to act like them with forcing comedy down your throat, where the originals were like, they had good chemistry. These girls don't have good chemistry together.
I don't know, man. Like, that's where I think I disagree a little bit. Is like they had it, and they were playing like it's kind of hard to kind of pinpoint like who's who, because it's almost like Melissa McCarthy and Kristen Wiig are almost playing like the same people. Like it was kind of strange with that part. Clearly, Kate McKinnon is like the Egon character, but like all of them, I feel like made it their own. They all had their little quirks, minus again Melissa McCarthy and Kristen Wiig. They kind of like the same person almost. And again, I think where this faltered is because of all the jokes that they're trying to put in. If they actually took out some of those and just kind of let them actually just kind of vibe together, and then there's some moments where they kind of do that, they go a little bit, but then it just goes off the walls again. Um, and I just feel like they could have just done that, and this whole story would have been better, because the actual like plot of the movie, where you have this guy who's made these contraptions that basically spark and create uh I guess bring in ghosts from another reality, basically. um you know, he's this is from 2016. I think I could give away all this stuff. He's charging the way lines, which I've heard this before. You know, you have these kind of like lines that are a little bit more like psychokinetic or whatever, like more, you know, there's more weird shit that happen on these way lines than other places, right? And
Mhm.
so his whole purpose, he's putting these contraptions on these way lines to get these ghosts to pretty much enter into our universe, and then they go and kind of, you know, the Ghostbusters come and get them. And then they've finally put all that together and find this guy, and he's just basically trying to charge these way lines to get to a certain point where he can pretty much break down the barriers between our world and the ghost world to bring all the ghosts into our universe. And that's what happened. That's the finale. I think it was actually kind of a really cool concept, and like actually a decent story for the Ghostbusters franchise. It was just, you know, weighed down by all these jokes that were just ridiculous.
Like
Um,
the soup dumpling joke.
oh yeah, just so much, just soup in general. A lot of soup
There's a lot of
stuff
soup
that, yeah.
and fluids.
Oh yeah. Well, and that's another part too, is I was thinking about this, and it was because of all the jokes and the high intensity, and then also like the ghosts themselves, like, dude, they straight up killed some people in this movie. Like, they killed Bill Murray's character. Like, they did some pretty kind of crazy stuff, but at the same time made it very cartoonish, where uh like, it doesn't have the, like, it's kind of like going back to, like, you know, you got Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, right? Where like, hey, you make all the Foot Clan robots, it's okay to destroy all of them and tear them to pieces, right? As
Mhm.
long as you kind of keep it kid friendly. And that's what I felt like they were doing this Ghostbusters. Like, I was like, man, this actually could have been pretty decently like kind of scary, but the way your CGI on the ghosts were all like very cartoony, and even some of them like dude, they fight like a basically a dragon thing. Like, that was one of the corniest ghosts I've ever seen. And also how they kind of designed Slimer and gave him a girlfriend. Like, again, very cartoony, and I just did not understand like
It's like more of
why
a
they.
it's like more of a sequel to Extreme Ghostbusters than actual movies.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. In the back of my head, is like, why do they do this? Like, are they trying to make this really kid friendly? You know, is if that's what they're trying to do, so that they, you know, try to get more people in the seats? Like, it just seemed odd, and I almost wonder, you know, maybe there's too many studio notes in this movie. Like, that's kind of what I was like they're like, it needs to be funnier, it needs to be more kid friendly, make it more animated. And I think that's the part where you look at these new movies like Frozen Empire and Afterlife, like, they toned it back. You know, I think they got more back to the original than this one. But it just makes me wonder, dude, if they tone back those jokes and the animation choices, like, I actually feel like this movie probably could have been a hit. I really do. Because there's a lot of pieces that I liked about it. other parts too. This, another thing that I thought about. This is kind of like Michael Bay. I felt like this is Michael Bay, where like they just had like all these ideas, and they're like, I don't know how we're gonna make that work, but we'll figure it out when we start filming, right? Well,
Wasn't
and
that kind of what happened with this movie? Like, didn't they go through the unknown of who the 4 Ghostbusters were going to be, and like last minute before this movie was put together, they're like, they're all going to be girls. There
I
you
don't
go.
think so.
No,
I don't think that was
wasn't
ever
there
a
talks
thing.
of like Seth Rogen and them doing all
Well,
that
that was a
Jack Black?
whole another thing where like I think they're talking about like passing of the torch and all that stuff. And then that basically all got scrapped, and that's when they decided, well, let's do this reboot and all female version of it. That didn't work, so they scrapped that, and they went back to like, oh, let's just bring back the original characters, but add in a family aspect of it. But literally, like, there was just so many scenes where like, hey, what would be fun to do? We need to have a lot more new weapons, but you still gotta have the proton packs because that's classic, right? But literally, there's like a scene at the end where everyone has all these new weapons and everything. They got to take out all these ghosts. It's just an epic battle. Actually, I mean, it kind of
It
looked
was
cool.
I liked it.
Yeah, like it was cool. But then all those new weapons just went away and they went right back to the proton packs. Like they didn't. And like, dude, the weapons they're like using to take out all these ghosts, like, it seemed very powerful. And then they went back to the proton packs where like we gotta stay with the classics, and they just didn't really give a reason why they're done with these other more powerful weapons. So
True.
again, like it's some of those aspects where like they had all these cool ideas and like this would look so cool, and then they just kind of like, well, let's let you believe like, we're not going to come back to that. We're done with that element, and we're going to go back to the original classic stuff for no reason at all. And that's what they did. So I know I'm bashing this still a lot, but honestly, it is pretty good. The story is decent, and this is, you watch it at home and just laugh at the jokes that are funny and just kind of ignore the rest, right? So
Peter, I have an idea for reviews when
yeah,
they apply.
okay,
I currently have I typed in Ghostbusters Answer the Call, and on the Google page, people also ask. And I'm going to run down these questions, and I want to see your answer and
okay,
how they compare to what Google says. Okay.
okay.
People also ask, Peter, is Ghostbusters Answer the Call a good movie? What's your answer?
Sort of.
It's a funny movie with great visuals.
See, I disagree with the visuals.
Okay. I like
At least
this
the
one.
CGI aspect. There is some cool visuals, but overall, the CGI is pretty bad.
A movie with a lot of links to the old Ghostbusters. If you want to see a funny movie, this one is. Don't read the negative reviews. I don't want to make mine too long since I don't want to give spoilers. All right. Second question, is Ghostbusters Answer the Call canon?
No.
Ghostbusters 2016 movie is considered its own it's independent. Okay,
Yeah.
it's not. Yeah. Why is Ghostbusters Answer the Call PG-13?
Because of ghosts.
Because there's a very disturbing scene where a guy commits suicide by electrocuting himself, and there's too much swearing.
Wow. See, that's the funny part. I can't recall any swearing in this movie, but there is a part. Yeah, this is what I'm talking about, dude. There is death, like multiple people die. That guy commits suicide. Bill Murray gets thrown out a window. They multiple possessions. Like, dude, like I'm telling you, like this is kind of like they did a lot of like kind of spooky shit, but because they made it all like cartoony, it makes it okay for kids apparently. So
You want
all
one more or two more?
right. If they're good, let's see.
Is Ghostbusters Answer the Call a sequel?
No, we already did that.
Answer the Call served as a reboot for the franchise as opposed to is it canonical or canonical? I'm gonna go
continuation.
Canonical.
Continuation.
This is my favorite one. Oh,
Okay.
Why did Ghostbusters 2016 fail?
Too many stupid jokes.
Yet general audiences gave Ghostbusters 2016 a chance. Its lackluster performance wasn't solely due to the backlash from a vocal minority on social media, but rather it failed to recapture the magic and charm of the original Ghostbusters. And I think
Yeah.
he said that. I think he said that.
Yeah, they just they're trying too hard.
Mm-hmm.
So
And I don't want to go down the rest of them, but because they start just populating more and more and more. But like, is Harold Ramis dead? Is Ghostbusters 1 inappropriate? Is Ghostbusters 2 scary for a 5-year-old? Does Girls Talk Boys play in Ghostbusters? What? Why was Ghostbusters 3 canceled? Like, that's funny. Like, just
wow.
I actually like going because that helps our reviews.
Where do these questions come from?
I literally just went to Google and then scrolled down, and under Wikipedia it says people also ask, and it gives you a couple of options there.
People, okay. I'll try to do it for yours, but I don't. It's probably too new to do that.
No, there's some. Don't worry.
You have it? You got some?
Yeah, I
So
got the
in
questions here.
Wikipedia.
No, not in Wikipedia. In Google, when you do a Google search.
Oh, and
Yeah.
way at the bottom, people also ask this. That's what you're saying.
I guess I should have just shared it on when I was doing yours, but like right here, you'll see
It's so long.
those questions right there.
Huh. Okay.
Okay. So let's talk about Inside Out 2. Have you seen the first one?
Yeah.
It's essentially that. Like the first one is the development of a child and her emotions.
Mm-hmm.
And they're very basic emotions. Happiness, anger, like what a 5-year-old, 3 to 5-year-old should be experiencing. What was it? Joy, fear, anger, sadness, and what was the other one? I think that's it, right?
Yeah, I think in the first one, yeah.
This movie starts off, everything's going great. What's the little girl's name? I forgot her name. Riley. Riley Anderson. She's in hockey with her friends. And it's summer, and inside of her head, like all the main emotions that this child has developed, everything, like it's a well-oiled machine. They're suppressing the memories, they're building their friendship, their her identity, all that stuff. So it's like a feel-good movie, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
For the most part.
I went into this movie, I was like, all right, I'm gonna watch it like with the with the kid, just like go. Like let's go. Like it's actually doing really well in the theater, so it must be good. So maybe 15 minutes into it, all her emotions are sleeping, and then the siren goes off. It's red, it's loud, and as they're trying to figure out what this siren is, it's they're redoing inside of her brain and construction and all that shit, and they find out this little girl Riley she has started puberty. Dude, the way that they showed this child go through puberty and how chaotic it was, and how they couldn't, like, anytime they push their button to, like, okay, she's feeling angry would press a button, like it would be amplified by 100. Hey, let's make her happy, it'd be amplified. So like it was like showing a teenage girl, and I was just laughing my ass off because I was in a theater full of parents who were just like, yep, that's what it is.
Yeah.
It was very funny how they portrayed it. And then, dude, you just start seeing the new ones come in, and it hit real life. Anxiety shows up, and dude, that character, played by Maya Hawke, by the way, like,
Oh.
yeah, she did a really good job being anxious and making you really not like her. There was disgust, and there was envy. Envy was another one that was good, and Embarrassment was another one. So like teenage emotions, the shit that really just like threw you over the edge, right?
Yeah.
They came in and anxiety basically took over because anxiety was thinking about things and like hypothesize. What's the word I'm thinking here? She was
Hypothetical.
hypothetical scenarios in her head and making this girl just go crazy. Like she's trying to make the hockey team. Her friends were going to another school. She was trying to make new friends, be friends with the best one, like doing weird shit. And it kind of help you understand what a teenage girl does sometimes. Like, why do they dye their hair red? This movie kind of explained it. I don't know why, but usually when they go through like a crazy episode, what do? They dye their hair red or they cut it. And they showed that from this girl. So
They need to
I thought
change.
they were funny. And the way they
Yeah.
handled it was funny. So as any Pixar movie where the new ones come in and they usher out the old ones, they anxiety tries to rebuild the character of Riley. So it gets rid of
Yeah.
her like development and they throw it in the suppressed memory and the original crew have to go get it, but they lock her up in her in her mind. They lock them up. Like they basically put her in it was like a vault. The funny thing about the vault was there was like a Blues Clues type of character that was animated like a so it didn't match the other animation. He was an animated character
Yeah.
along with his fanny pack. And then there was like a video game character. And when they showed that video game character who was like a Link, like Cloud Strife kind of character, and how Riley couldn't control him properly or make him execute his move, and he just rolled around and just fumbled into things. Dude, it was hilarious. But they had to use these characters to, get past sarcasm and I'm throwing out all these different things that a child was going through, but the way this movie expressed it and followed the journey through her brain, it was funny, it was real life, and it made you think like if they were gonna do a third one, that one's gonna be dark, dude, because then you're getting to an adult emotions, and we don't want to see that. That's like depression. That's like money issues, stuff like that. Like Disney better stop at this one because they're getting dark.
Hmm.
Um, but it's still a good family fun movie to watch. So, Peter, pop it in with the kids. Watch it on a weekday when it comes out. You don't necessarily need to go see this in a movie theater. But I don't think you need to with any animated movie. I just happen to go just see them. So,
Yeah.
um,
Yeah. I do want to go see it. And did they ever go into like the parents' minds like they did in the first one?
they did, dude, and they did them so quick. Like when they were interacting with her, going through her puberty, and the parents'
Yeah.
minds were funny. Like it was the same group of characters, but with their mustaches or their hairstyle and
Yeah.
their just different voices.
I loved when they did that in the first one. It always cracked me up. So I'm glad that they stayed true to that. Like I could see, like I could just watch a whole nother movie just like with the parents inside the parents' minds. Like that'd be fun.
Maybe that's what the third one should be about is inside the parent's mind viewing their child. I think that would be a funny way to execute that.
Yeah.
I'm glad that it did as well as it did because Pixar was kind of on a lull with their movies. Like last couple movies just they weren't hits. And this one came through and I think it was the boost that Pixar's needed and the movie industry. So anything to keep it alive in my book is good. If you want to go see it in the movie theater, go see it now because next week is going to be Despicable Me and it's going to get trashed by that movie.
I don't know. I've heard bad things about the fourth one. I think Inside Out 2 might still remain king, but we'll see. I don't know.
You've heard bad things about Despicable Me 4?
Yeah. Maybe it's just me just making up shit. I don't know, but I'm pretty sure I've heard bad stuff though. So we'll see. I mean, you're right. It's not a kids movie. It's very possible that it's just gonna take over, but I do think Inside Out 2 could have some staying power because of the fact that it resonates with adults as well.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think Despicable Me 2 is gonna have that.
No. And That's how animated movies like Mario was so good because it resonated with the people who grew up with Mario and kids now. Sonic, very similar way. Inside Out does a really good job of like the adults taking their kid to go see that movie.
Yeah.
My niece Olivia went with us, and she walked out. And she goes, "Yeah, that was pretty real." So,
That's good.
um,
Nice.
in the same fashion, do you want to ask him, or I can ask him and follow?
Well, you already answered most of these. That's why I'm like, this is kind of dumb. Is Inside Out 2 rated PG?
It is. See summer tentpole rating. Okay,
I'm
I'll
not
answer a
surprised
couple.
by the because I mean, but oh, here we go. Will Inside Out 2 make me cry?
It will make you cry.
Oh,
Yeah, you really feel for her emotions. And dude, when anxiety loses control and you watch her go through a panic attack, you're like, holy shit, dude. Like I could kind of like feel for this girl, and if someone can't handle their emotions, you can cry. And it's about friendship, dude. Friendships are tough during that time, Peter. You know,
yeah.
you
Gone through
betray
a
your
lot of
friend.
shit.
You know, you want to be friends with Evan, and he wants you to be friends with Aaron, but Aaron doesn't want you to be friends with Peter, and so he like gatekeeps you from Peter for a long time, and then later just finds out you're better friends with Peter than both of them anyway.
That's great.
But you
I
don't
mean,
know
right.
that during high school
That's
because
right.
you're
No,
crying.
yeah. Some of these is Riley a boy or a girl in Inside Out?
So, okay, can I tell you a piece in this movie? Because I was looking for the extra credit scene. In the vault, she had a deep, dark secret, right?
Okay.
So here comes the internet, and the internet's like, well, what is her deep, dark secret? The first thing that the internet popped up is like, is this movie about Riley being a lesbian? No, this movie doesn't address any of that whatsoever.
But
If
what's her big dark secret, though?
Do you want
Do
to
they
know?
tell you? No,
Oh yeah,
you don't need to tell me. Okay, as long as they tell you, that's all. I'm just curious.
Post credit scenes.
Okay,
Scenes.
all right.
This was a good question. Does Riley have a mental illness in Inside Out?
Mhm.
Though adjustment disorder is not often mentioned or represented in popular culture, apparently there is an adjustment disorder. That's just called being a teenager, dude. She doesn't have any mental illness in here. Oh, what is the saddest scene?
Well, we don't need to know about that. You can't
yeah.
tell. That's spoilers, man. So, all right, I think we got it. I like these questions though. I think this is fun to do. Good idea.
Oh, this one is Riley non-binary. No, she's a girl. So
yeah,
Disney doesn't do that in this movie. Why is
nice?
It? So yeah, Bing Bong. Yeah, Peter. Seriously, it's a good one. I like it.
Well, I might have to take at least one kid to go see that. Like I really do want to see it. I just we'll see when we'll have time to do that. So let's get into our recommendations and close this episode up.
Yes.
Oh God. Oh.
I'll have what she's having.
Oh yeah. What are you having, Ryan?
I have followed through and I've been watching The Boys.
I'm only 2 episodes in, and that was my recommendation too.
Okay, well, let's talk about it. Has this season made the impact like the first 3 have for you?
No, I don't. Not yet, but there's still been some really fun scenes like throughout. You know, like they're staying true
To The Boys.
Yeah, but I have felt like it's been a little bit like slower moving, I guess. Maybe that's what I'm thinking of. I don't know.
My favorite discourse about The Boys right now is that the right wing, like the Republicans and the Trump MAGA, that they're surprised that Homelander is the bad guy. I love that's like the internet's basically like, yeah, he's been the bad guy. He's been a villain this entire time. You guys just realize that you guys are the villains. So,
Yeah.
I never got any inclination that Homelander was a good guy. Did
Yeah,
you?
me either. No.
Yeah.
No.
So anybody who's thought that, like, you're reading into this wrong, and that brings up a good point about the boys. It's not about the soups; it's about the boys. And this one really, this season's playing into the boys, and like they're because for me, the first 3 seasons were them like, all right, we're gonna get these soups, and this is how we're gonna get them. But this time around, like they're having a hard time. Internal conflicts, you know.
Yeah.
You got another one that you're recommending since we both had the boys?
Nope, I'm sticking with the boys. I mean, it's still good, and I hear they only got like maybe like one more season left.
Well, I'm gonna watch the newest episode after this recording, and I gotta catch up on the Bear because the Bear comes out tomorrow.
Oh, nice. Yeah, that's another one I need to watch the 3rd season. So, or did I even get 3rd season's coming out? I haven't watched the 2nd season. I haven't watched all of that, and it's so good though. But I need to get to it. So, that's exciting. And the boys. I mean, dude, there's some good stuff out there right now. So, just don't have enough time to watch all of it. That's the hardest part.
No, dude. Like I was talking with Casey today, and he's like, "Yeah, I can always go back and watch Shameless." And I was like, "Dude, that's 10 seasons. How do you like binge 10 seasons?" And
On the background, just let it go.
I can't do it, dude. I mean, like, dude, I have a hard time. Like, oh yeah, The Boys is back on. Cool, I gotta watch that. You know. Apparently, Star Wars Acolyte is, this last episode like kind of redeemed the series.
Nice. Well, maybe I'll get around to it. We'll see. But until next time, I know
I'm not gonna watch it either.
Until next time, Ryan.
Pew pew out. Go to bed. Two. Take some poopy time tea.